this is going to be part 3. I'm going to try to make this as short as possible, speaking about the prophetic type of Deborah. I noticed in my life that it seemed like I transitioned in and out of different prophets. I've been through a lot, and before you become Deborah, you really go through a lot of pitfalls, a lot of learning, a lot of shifting in and out of different prophets and things of that nature for years now. I'm not saying that it's like you're this month and that next month. When I started out years ago, the first thing that God led me to was Ezekiel, seeing visions, seeing things that I couldn't describe what it was, and God was speaking to me about my forehead being as strong as their forehead, and things of that nature. But it seems like I was always in some type of shift, and there was always different types of warfare that I had to learn to pray my way through. But I've been through so much humiliation, so much rejection, so much abandonment, and I know that all prophets go through this process. But it seemed like with every shift there came a different level of warfare with a different type of humility, or me having to be trained or raised. It's almost like, and I hate to say it this way, but it's almost like, for me, and if you witness, you can identify with this, please leave it in the comments, but it was almost like I was a mutt, in the sense of just like being so many different mixtures of a prophet and being processed, and seeing how God was actually transitioning me from one thing to the next thing, being a Nathan prophet, being a creative, being someone who's passionate about defending and making sure that the leadership can be wrong as two left shoes, and you're sitting there defending and protecting and being creative in the way that you say things and put things together in words where people can not get the harsh side of you, but then transitioning into a different type of prophet where you're harsh, and you have to come down. Everything is black and white, and you're judgmental, and you really have to come. God really has to take you through some things and come in between that thing and humble you in that area. And then you find yourself where you're operating more like a healer, like you want to deliver everybody, just like Isaiah. You around people with the same type of language, and you speak in the language of the land until God delivers you from the language of the land. And God says, who will go for me? And you're like, send me, Lord, I'll go. But you just came from the backside of the desert of going through the process of your mouth being reckless, and now you got your mouth in you feel like you have your mouth in order, where now you can go and properly speak to people because you had a live coal put to your mouth, put to your lips, put to your tongue, and things of that nature. And it's like with when you go through the different phases, you can actually feel the different things that you are going through. Now, this may not be for everybody, but for those who, I believe, like, God is really putting us in position and in place to be the Deborahs. And I guess some of us may be hard-headed, more hard-headed than others. We had to keep going around the mountain and things of that nature, so we went through the different transitions and things of that nature to get to where it is that God wanted us to get to. But it seems like Deborahs get rejected and just disrespected, and, like I said, humiliated and cheated on and left, and just made a fool out of, and pride just has to be crushed to the pounded to the very last compound. Like, no matter how much you think it's time to get up and rise, then when you get up and rise and you're in that position, it's almost like you're knocked back down again. You take one step and you take 3 steps backwards, and you find yourself at rock bottom again, starting all over, and you're asking God, what did I do? Like, what did I do, God? I'm just getting a breather for like 2 days, and then here it is, bam, you hit me with another 2-piece. Like, what am I doing here? What are you doing? What's going on here? You get to a place where you quit. You do like Jeremiah did. You ain't saying nothing. You're not prophesying to nobody. You're not going to do nothing. You don't care what God say. You don't care what the people need. You don't care about none of that. You tired of people boiling you in oil, throwing you in hot water, dragging you into places and things of that nature. You're tired of walking around like you got leprosy and expected to dance and praise God and do all these things for the Lord, and you know you haven't been totally responsible with everything. It's like the least little thing that you do, you can't get away with nothing. It's fire coming for every little thing that you do. There's a consequence and a repercussion. Now you may do the thing, and God, you cry out, and God, I'm so sorry, and things of that nature, and you watching other prophets walk around and just been forgiven, just flowing in their gifts and things of that nature. But you gonna take a whole nother lap, and not only you gonna take a whole nother lap around the backside of the desert, you gonna do it on fire, you gonna do it freezing, you gonna do it starving, you gonna do it with other consequences and repercussions on you because of the weight that you have to carry. But you don't want to hear that when it comes to you going through. So it seems like you're going from one thing to the next thing, to the next thing, I don't know when the last time I had a breather, when God let up. People, they see what God is doing, but really don't understand all the hell, all the other people taking credit for the things that God gave to you, which really it don't belong to you, but you have to grow and get to the place of, they'll mention everybody, call everybody, celebrate everybody, and won't even mention your name, won't even recognize the part that you played, won't even recognize what you contributed to anything, but call everybody else, and then give somebody else credit for something that you built the foundation on. They'll call and say to somebody else, or celebrate and award somebody else, but not you. You'll have people around you that's always envious and always jealous of what you have, and they want it. And if they could get it, they gonna sleep with it. They gonna mistreat it. They gonna do whatever they can to do to get to you about that thing. You don't really have no friends. And the friends that you have, if they are not prophets, and this is basically for a lot of prophets, but not for all prophets, because you have other people around who understand prophetic people, who have other prophetic people in their family, so they understand. But when there's somebody out there, you really don't have no friends, because they don't understand you. No matter how well you dress, no matter how beautiful you are, no matter how you carry yourself, no matter how sweet your presence, your countenance, your spirit is, it's just somebody out there who's always gonna bark at you. They're gonna try to bring the beast out of you at all times, and you know what you're capable of, because you can look at them and just see their whole life and know the misery, the pain, the fear, know everything that's going on with them, how they need inner healing. You can see the demons, the face contorting and things of that nature while you're looking at them, and you have to stand there and just be like, and you want to say, boy, you just don't know. I could just read your mail, clean your clock, and send you home crying in a doghouse. But you better keep your mouth shut. And that's a part of if I'm wrong, then that was my process. because like I said, maybe because it's just disobedience, but it's been a hard road for this sister right here. If this ain't your story, and you didn't have the transitions, and you just been a Deborah, and God has just been smoothly developing you from the palm tree, sitting under the palm tree, right into leadership, then God bless you. And may God keep you, and you must have just heard God and followed and obeyed. I guess it may have come as well from all of the running that I did, because I ran for years. I lied about the call. I didn't want to answer the call to do nothing because of all the rejection and things of that nature, and maybe all of the not trusting God and all of that stuff. And I know that God is a loving, caring, kind God who's not revengeful, but when you going through some stuff, it'll make you think, Lord, I look, now, I know you a loving, caring, kind God, but it seems like you trying to get me back from all the time you trying to get my attention and tell me and put me on the path where you was trying to put me. But because I know that God is processing us for something greater, I understand. Even when I don't want to understand, I still understand. And you have no choice but to understand. You know, it don't feel good, but you got to understand.